yes, the sounds of Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit, the sounds of Rhapsody, Emerald Sword, and Primal Fear, Angel in Black. I felt like powering out, has to be said. Something a little bit epic. Yes, I did just say... Epic! Oh, yeah. Now, I'll tell you what else is epic. Chocolate cheesecake from Sainsbury's. Now, it was Kiki's birthday on Wednesday, so I thought, right, I'll try and buy him a birthday cake, but I had no money whatsoever. That was really short money, I had about £1.75 to my name. So I thought, okay, I can't afford him a cake, because they're like £5, £6, but I can afford him a cheesecake. So I bought him a cheesecake and a packet of these plastic little candle things. Put it together, stuff these candles in it, and add this... The problem with like putting candles in cheesecake is the cheesecake isn't very solid. So getting them to stay at the right angle is really awkward. So he comes into the kitchen to find a cheesecake with the most deformed smiley face you have ever seen in your life in candles on there. And I'm like, I made you delicious cake, you must eat it. To be fair, I should have actually said, it's too dangerous to go alone. Here, take this. It's like the biggest meme of a cake ever. Sadly, it turns out he doesn't actually like chocolate cheesecake. What a shame. That means that I may have actually eaten the chocolate cheesecake. Possibly. And that is the sugar which is now driving my inevitable demise on air right now. Awesome! Anyway, let's get on with this. So, we have many, many more emails. Interestingly enough, Max pointed me to the Peacekeeper Gauntlets. The Peacekeeper Gauntlets being a Hakar drop. Not very many stats, but they've actually got more healing on them than the Ghost from Vash. Oh, that is such a disgrace. It really, really is. Seriously, you compare them, it's just very, very silly. It actually just boggles the mind that there can be such a small upgrade. Oh yeah. So, we came to the conclusion that those gauntlets are the stupidest named things ever. Most assuredly. And we, of course, need something to talk about next week. And, of course, next week is...
Second Wind!
As it is at the start and end of every single show, the continuation from show to show, kind of like some kind of cereal. Maybe the radio equivalent of cornflakes. We shall see. Now, Second Wind this week. I am going to ask you a very interesting and possibly doomsaying question. Now, where do we go from here? Really big question for you. Where do we go from here? Is Blizzard's endgame model sustainable? Now, right now, we're looking at the possibility of Tempest Keep and then perhaps Mount Hayal being cleared relatively soon. Now, why do I say that? Well, Lady Vash is down, and that was most people a rooster block of the occasion. We don't know an awful lot about the Phoenix God in Tempest Keep. We really don't. But it's probably doable, I imagine. And then, of course, you've got Kel'Thas Sunstrider to kill, and the other guy in there whose name I really cannot recall. And then, after you've killed them enough, and may I just point out that giving 4 vials per kill for the quest so that you've got to kill them multiple times in order to get into Hayal is one of the silliest things I've seen in a very long time. Then you get into Hayal. Now, we have got Black Temple coming up to follow that out, which is fair enough. Now, is this all we want out of the game? That's the question. Is it all that you want from the game? Is it all that I want from the game? Is it enough to keep people going? It's definitely a very tricky concept to deal with. Okay? So, let's look at it from both angles. That's always the best way of doing it. And I'm leaving this up to you guys. If you're a podcast listener, you can email in during the week. The next show after this will be on the 7th of April. No, I'm completely wrong. It'll be on the 8th of April. I am a fool. A blithering fool. And I heard, apparently, that the 8th of April might even be Easter Sunday. I will assuage your fears. There will, in fact, be a Blue Please on that day. And I'm going to call it Eggs Plus because I don't have any money to buy any Easter eggs this year. Yeah, this is a sad face. A very sad face. I cannot gorge myself on chocolate this year, I'm afraid. Because I do not have any money for eggs. Feel free to donate to WoW Radio to fund Total Biscuit's eggs. I didn't say that. I'm not an evil sellout. Anyway, so yeah, let's look at this angle from... let's look at the angle from both angles, then look at the angle of the angle from both angles. Then we can take the angle of the angle, cross-reference it with the angle of that angle, the angle that we can look from both angles, and we can look at it from 8 million different angles, and it'll look exactly the same no matter what. Now, if anyone can actually explain what I just said, please email themurloc@gmail.com. Right, anyway, So, the ways of looking at it. Instances, sustainable or not? Well, here's a piece of evidence to suggest that they are. I present to you Exhibit A. The population of WoW, over the period of the development of Molten Core all the way through to Naxxramas, has increased, not decreased. This is a statistical fact. As quoted by Blizzard, anyway, if we can believe what they have to say. So, that would indicate that it is sustainable. However, how much more? Just how much more can people take? Is it going to be a case of, well, we have to line up all the instances so that people can take him down? Because right now, you've even got the minority of guilds aren't even able to kill Gruul yet. Yeah? Now, Gruul is supposed to be the Onyxia. Now, the Onyxia of the Burning Crusade should basically be what was on the par with like the Molten Core boss difficulty in Legacy content. Now, the question is he? Yes or no? Maybe, maybe not. Is he going to get nerfed some more? Is McTherin going to get nerfed some more? And obviously Serpentrine's going to end up getting nerfed because it's horrifically difficult and buggy as heck right now. So if you expect people to bite on the whole, yeah, you can go through all these instances, especially if Black Temple's supposed to be harder than all of this and not a sidestep. And to be fair, I can see it becoming a sidestep. I really can. I could see it becoming an instance that you don't have to have done Tempest Keep, Serpentrine, Mount Hayal to get into. It wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. So, we'll have to see how that goes. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah? It is sustainable. It's been proven in the past that it's sustainable. It's what WoW is based on as far as endgame goes. It can continue to be based on. Here's the other angle. People may get bored of it, especially if there's very little innovation. Look at what Nihilum think of the Vash encounter. They think it's lousy. Too random. It's not challenging because of the actual technical difficulty of the fight. You can play perfectly and still lose. Now, if you can play perfectly and still lose, that encounter is broken. End of story. Such things should not be left to chance. Adding random elements to boss encounters is not a good thing if you cannot account for them. If there's no way that you can deal with the fact that someone might just die and fall over because bad luck, then that's a bad encounter design. And if that continues, then people are going to get really fed up really fast. I'd say the Black Temple is perhaps an opportunity for Blizzard to fix their wrongs, or even right their wrongs, or left their wrongs, or up and down and left and right, and shake it all about. Perhaps that's what the Black Temple's all about. We just really don't know. It's difficult to see, because we don't know anything about the Black Temple at this point in time. We can only speculate. The non-linear way through the Black Temple indicates that they're looking for something different, because this kind of choose-your-own-adventure thing that's going on right there, a relatively good idea. It is appealing to people. They like the choice. The choice is a good thing. May I just push this impression on you? The choice is a very good thing indeed when it comes to World of Warcraft. People like the ability to choose, especially when it comes to their endgame. So if they're able to do that in Black Temple could theoretically be the best instance they put out since Naxxramas. We will have to see. So yeah, there are two different flip sides to that particular coin, in my honest opinion. There is the one side that says, yes, it is sustainable. It's been sustainable since Legacy content, it's still sustainable now. Although you can look at a counterpoint on that and say, well, back in the day it was fed piecemeal, and therefore, not necessarily was it a case of being sustainable, it was just what was coming out one after the other. Now we've got all of these raids, people are perhaps spoiled for choice, and this is ruining the attitude to raiding. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it, again, is that people are just sick to death of generic raid encounters over and over and over again. Too much trash, too much stuff going on with it, just wrong. Plain and simple wrong. I mean, look at Naxxramas and look at trash done right, in my honest opinion. Not too much between each boss. Bosses were nice and challenging, they were incredibly original, they looked cool, they had an epic feel to them. Now compare that to instances in here right now with raiding, and it's just abysmal. Karazhan has too much trash, Serpentrine has too much trash, it wouldn't surprise me if Tempest Keep has too much trash either. And a 1 hour respawn time is a joke, and that is going to drive people out, and people are just going to get sick of it. They're going to get sick to death of it. That's the other way of looking at it, okay? Those are our two possible angles. Now, I have no doubt that you lot can come up with some great angles on this particular discussion. So email over the next week. You can email all the way before April the 8th for the special Easter show. All the way through. And tell me what you think. What do you think about Endgame? Is this, as a business model, as a gameplay model, as a model to keep the game running for a very long period of time, sustainable? Can it be done? He will join us or die, Master. I believe it's time for shoutouts. I'm pretty exhausted. I want to go off the air. Ortil and Hordak want to come on the air. This is a mutually beneficial arrangement. So, yes. Time for the shoutouts. Email. You know you want to. Okay. Oh, Ryan Tharmer says, I will send you a damn egg. That's very nice of him. Thank you very, very much. Yes, I had too much sugar today. Thank you. Right, a shout out to Piggy Hoy Hoy. He is such a noob. That's from Toasterbot. I have loads of shout outs in my inbox. Email themolk@gmail.com or PM me. You know you want to. Snorky Yorkie asks for a shout-out. Shout-out to Total Biscuit for reading out my previous email, and to someone who's will not tell me who it is, because Gmail won't open it, and Cartus for dinging 23, and me for dinging 55. Congratulations. Carl Williams, also known as Carnage, has a simple explanation for my second win, and he says chocolate cheesecake. Good game. A shout out to Luku, the level 38 Belf for Sephirothadin, and to fiancé Aina for level 32 Belf Lock, who needs to stop chewing on me. Okay. A shout out to me, Dipstick, for probably the first Belf Paladin with Zunrock and buying some Witos after you mentioned them on last week's show, Love Beastie. Why on earth would anyone get Zinrock these days? I really do not know. Interesting way of looking at things. A shout out to the Pyromaniacal Pirates. Oh, good God. On Agwin. That's from Omni Stegan. Thanks for loving the show always. Awesome. A shout out to TB for having integrity. Where? Who? You know, that is a baseless allegation. A shout out to Metal Man for his Imber 41k aggro on the crab boss in Slave Pens. A giant enemy crab. A shout out to all the people in the Blue Please Guild who want to continue keeping the guild going. Sadly, our main tank left because he wanted something a little bit more hardcore. Which means we may be looking for another main tank, and I know I've just had a rest of shower and apply. This is cool. We will prevail. England prevails and all that good stuff. A shout out to Twisting Nether and the Thunderhorn EU. That's from Arachne, who still has Moo Kittens play Rap Cat. No more Rap Cats ever. You rock, man. That's from Ashland. Shout out to you for getting such a high blood pressure rant going. It was just awesome. That's from Drainer. I have really low blood pressure. You'd be surprised. I've got a clinically low blood pressure as opposed to my dad who has clinically high blood pressure. Yeah. Growing up was fun. A shout out to Romy for dragging my lazy behind through Blackrock Depths, the horror. Also a shout out to the Dark Realm on Twilight's Hammer EU for being awesome. What else have we got? A shout out to Violent Ventures. Read that 5 times fast. Okay. Violent Ventures. Or is it Vultures? Damn it! I fail. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. On Frostmane EU Horde from Edward. And a shout out to the Aztecs Guild on EU Al-Alkir server for Owa. I loved you. That's from Bladescope. Yeah, that's really scary. Don't send me things like that. Can I get a shout out to Zithika, Aphone, and the Guild? What is this? You make up words for the sake of it. You twist and turn. The Guild at Trialeri on Thunderhorn EU. We need to go shopping for more stuff. That's really shout out. A shout out to the producers. Went down Manchester to watch it yesterday. Didn't see Rathy, though. No, Rathy's hiding at the moment. Also, we got a shout out to Travix for going offline just before the Wizard of Oz encounter. No, you don't need him anyway. A shout out to Alashit. What the... Seriously, people make up words for the sake of confusing me. If I had a fresh meat drop in for Mocktail and Hordak, I would use it right now. Shout out to Aliation Hunter on Zenadar EU. He got hacked last night and lost everything the whole on Lunar Eclipse Guild. Hopes Blizz can get his stuff back soon. Salute from Mad Mardigan. And that is me done for the day. You'll be listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Download our archives. Check out our podcast. WCRadio.com is the place to go. Rate us on iTunes if you do not mind. Write us little reviews. We love seeing that and it helps to promote the show. You've been a wonderful audience, I think. I have been a mediocre host. This is Bleen. Bleen? That's not even a word. This is Bleen Blue Bleeze. Bly Bly.